One more time, Master Bruce.
Don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke. Your body doesn't know the difference. Words are energy and they cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Change the way you speak about yourself and you can change your life.
That's something, Bruce. Beautifully put.
Change the way you speak about yourself and you can change your life. All right, so I know some of y'all jumped on this and we got to get into this Don Lemon thing. Man, you see, when Don ran into that church, Don kind of tweaked a lot of people just the wrong way, bro. Just the wrong way. He rubbed me the wrong way, too. And I ain't really have a problem with Don Lemon. Don wasn't the type of person, I mean, I didn't go to watch his show, but I don't have no beef with him either. He's just, to me, a dude trying to get put on, and he trying to figure it out. Look, I'm being nice today. I'm cutting people nice little joints. I said, yeah, dude trying to get put on. He trying to figure it out. He tried to figure it out now after he left CNN. CNN clipped him. I've been looking at some of his content. Don is trying to make that pivot into that content space, but he taking his thoughts and his perspectives with him. And I hate to say it right now, the Democratic Party isn't a place where anybody really wants to run to. Okay, now that's my opinion. Yours is whatever it is. But they got Don. They got Don Lemon. They got him.
And to a Fox News alert, journalist Don Lemon has been arrested in connection with an anti-ICE protest at a church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Bill Malushin joins us now with more on this breaking news. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, Charlie, good morning to you. Our colleague David Spunt and I getting this breaking news from multiple law enforcement sources just minutes ago, confirming that former CNN anchor Don Lemon has been arrested by federal agents in Los Angeles just after midnight this morning at a hotel. This obviously all in connection with that storming of a church in St. Paul, Minnesota by that group of anti-ICE agitators. Now remember, the feds had gone to judges to try to get Don Lemon arrested before. They went to a magistrate judge in Minnesota who didn't sign off on an arrest warrant for him. Then it went to a judge above him. He didn't sign off on an arrest warrant for him. Then it went to an appeals court. They also decided not to sign off for an arrest warrant for him. So there was...
The problem is when they're doing this with Don Lemon and nobody's signing off and they get one person to sign off, you got Don is going to build off of that. All of this just adds credibility to Don. I don't like what Don did. I don't like it at all. As somebody that goes to the house of worship, and to me, it would make me so doggone just mad because I'm not trying. How can you just walk into the house of worship and just start interviewing people and you're coming in with protesters? Now, I said this before, you don't see any other news reporters, commentators in this place when Don is here. So Don knew about this before anybody knew about it. I mean, before it even broke, he knew. I believe they called him and they said, Don, we want you to cover this. We're going to walk in here. We believe it's an ICE. They believed it was somebody over ICE that was there. And Don knew it ahead of time. Nobody else is recording. Nobody else is reporting. Don did this for clicks. Now, when you do stupid, see, I am working on my, look, he's giving me the strength. It still slides. But when you do that type of stuff, you get those type of presents delivered to you from the federal government, especially when it's tight like this. And a lot of people don't like this. Some people think, oh, it's protesting. Yeah, but even in protesting, and you can protest and you can say, I don't like, what's going on with ICE and all of that. But dude, do you think everybody in that church wants to talk about ICE stuff now? So Don, yeah, they got you. They got you, Don. And to me, I kind of believe that Don likes this. Yeah, I believe he likes this. I believe Don knows that this is going to increase his brand. I believe Don knows that this is going to give him more content. I believe all of that stuff, Don has already mapped it out. Because the way that you do old journalism and new journalism, completely different. And Don is going from old journalism to new journalism. He's looking at some of the guys that let him go at CNN. He's looking at some of the ones he's competing with, like the Megyn Kellys and all of that, all of them that left that public media space and now they're doing content. So this is nothing more than a content play for this guy. I don't have pity for him. I don't have any kind of sorry for him. If anything, Don is now going to become the character of my bag. Oh no. Yeah. What I'm saying is I'm going to cover everything Don. I'm going to wear it the heck out because Don is going to cover everything related to this. He's probably going to try to find some ways to insert what's going on with the feds and his case in front of everybody on his podcast and all of that. And I ain't mad at you, dude, because I know content creators do some crazy. See, I'm working on it. I'm working. They do some crazy. They do some crazy ninja stuff. You know what I'm saying? They do some crazy ninja splits. I like that one, crazy ninja splits. Yeah, they do crazy ninja splits. They do it. And Don is nothing more than a character. He needs more clicks. He needs more follows. This just played into his whole bag for the year.
Experts who are predicting that perhaps the feds would go to a grand jury. It remains to be seen if that's what happened here, but we can confirm that Don Lemon was arrested in Los Angeles by federal agents just after midnight Los Angeles time at a hotel. Now, typically, standard procedure with an arrest like this is the defendant will likely make their first court appearance sometime the same day. So there's a chance we may see Don Lemon make his first court appearance in Los Angeles sometime today. But obviously, this is going to grab all sorts of headlines. 3 other protesters from that church storming, have already been arrested, including who the feds say was the organizer of that protest. The woman in the middle there is a school board member in St. Paul, and then the mugshot on the right is an online personality / agitator, if you want to call him that. He's known as the Woke Farmer. Those were the 3 people that the feds had already arrested, but we have confirmed that Don Lemon has now been arrested in Los Angeles in connection with that viral incident. We all saw the video of it that spread and drew widespread condemnation. The feds have been going after these people on FACE Act violations. So this is still breaking news. Once we get more details about the potential charges here, a court appearance, we'll, of course, update our viewers, guys.
Really appreciate it. Of course, if it was a grand jury that did indict him, that's pretty unimpeachable. Bill Milesian.
We are learning this breaking news that former CNN anchor Don Lemon has been arrested. Here's what we're learning. This is from Bill Milesian with Fox News saying, per multiple law enforcement sources, former CNN anchor Don Lemon was arrested by federal agents in Los Angeles this morning in connection to the storming of a church in Minnesota by anti-ICE agitators. We also do have some more social media posts as well that we'll put up your screen.
If you believe Don Lemon, if you believe this, they're overdoing it, like they're over exaggerating, leave me a comment. Let me know. Because I believe Don knew this was coming. Don didn't think about it before he stepped into it. Probably spoke to his attorney after the fact. His attorney probably gave him some assurances, and he said, worst case scenario, this is what happens. But Don has a whole content play off of this. And it's bad and it's sad when you're going to use going into a church. They didn't go into a synagogue. Nobody's going into any mosque. And as somebody, and I say it, man, as somebody that studied Islam growing up, grew up in a church, right? Did the whole religious church thing, thought I was going to do the Islam thing and didn't do it. You not running in a mosque and putting up cameras, but you're doing that here. So I think it's totally disrespectful. I think they do need to bring them up on charges. If they are able to make it stick, let it stick. But you got to have people know that there's some things that are off limits. And I believe going up in churches like that, nobody knew. They didn't have a security team. Churches I went to before, I've been on security teams for churches, okay? And carrying my firearm. Pastor was a little nervous that because of his message that something could potentially happen. So we trained. So the team trained. They didn't have a security team. They didn't have not one person that I saw there with any level of security. How do you know that those agitators, just like Alex, and we'll talk about that later, the next video. I'm going to do that for the next video because I want to get all this out the way. sometimes too much politics is just freaking too heavy. Oh no. I'm just being honest with you. Because sometimes, bro, let me tell you, these jokers ain't fun. They ain't fun. They ain't fun. They protesting jokers that's getting a bag on their head. And some of them getting a check, and the rest of them, they just getting put in jail, or they getting a consolation prize of 6 feet deep. So it ain't fun. It's funny for me to watch. And that's the reason I watch it, because I'm like, dang, bro, what's up? Fed charge? Don catching Fed charges? But outside of that, dude, I'm going to tell you, these jokers, they corny, they lame, man. Don is probably the lamest of them all. He's trying, I see him as someone trying to find himself. Before Don can actually get any real traction or momentum, because he's really doing some crazy stuff right now, I believe he needs to find himself. I don't believe Don knows who or what he is.